Caren Glasser here, and welcome to the Superboomer Lifestyle Show. I welcome guests from all across the globe to share how they are maneuvering through a world that worships youth and shames the beautiful process of aging. Today, we are welcoming singer-songwriter Ellen Allard to the show, and the topic is music, music, music. If you are here live, we're thrilled you're here live. Make sure you put a comment down below and say, Caren, I'm here live. We will come in and greet you, and if you make a comment, we'll put you right up on the screen. If you're here on replay, just as good, maybe even better, put replay down in the comments because we will come back and make sure that you are part of the conversation. And of course, share, push that button you know that you want to, share it out to your network and bring in your family and friends. All right. Today, we have a really great show. I'm excited about the show in particular because it's about music, and it is one of my very, very favorite topics. And today, we have an amazing guest. Her name is Ellen Allard. She is an award-winning performer. She's a music educator and composer, and she is considered one of the most engaging performers on today's Jewish music scene with a very strong commitment to building community through music. I love her. Ellen has been performing and teaching music to young children, adults, and families for over 40 years. Her songs are considered to be the gold standard when it comes to engaging and empowering people to strengthen their Jewish identities. She has been published by fellow singer-songwriters on 31 recordings. 31, oh my gosh, and 11 songbooks. And so without further ado, we're going to welcome Ellen to the show. So Ellen, join us and say hello to our guests.
Hello, everyone. So glad to be here.
Well, I'm thrilled that you're here. I'm thrilled because we have a common and a common thread out there in the music world. As my community knows, I'm a retired cantor, and you are very well known in the Jewish music community, specifically in the family and children, but across the board. And so when I started stalking you on Instagram, I said, I got to get Ellen on the show. She's going to be awesome. And so I always like to start the show with the following comment, and that is, how do you describe a super boomer? So the way I describe a super boomer is that we are not defined by our age. We are defined by how we show up in life, and we are fearless with a just watch me attitude. That's how I define a super boomer. Ellen Allard, how do you define a super boomer?
A super boomer is someone who continues to grow and evolve as a person, both personally and professionally, someone who wants to continue making an impact in his or her area of expertise, and who is absolutely, doggedly determined to leave a remarkable legacy.
I love that definition. It makes me kind of want to be your kind of super boomer. I mean, I can feel the passion, and I can actually feel the energy behind it. So if you're just tuning in, guys, we're talking to Ellen Allard, and today the topic is music, music, music. I don't think you can say music enough. I believe that music is the universal language. How about you, Ellen? What do you think?
I couldn't agree with you more. I have known this language since I was a baby, and really it's been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. So it's how I communicate. One of the ways that I communicate.
I've often said that music speaks to those that might not otherwise hear, because you don't have to get caught up necessarily in the words. You can just get caught up in the music and the actual melody, and that can speak to you. So I think that anyone that works in the music industry, as you do, has a very special gift because we're able to communicate to those that probably would not have heard what our message is. So you call yourself the Queen of Jewish Early Childhood Music. Love that title. And you're the queen. I think, we should all be the queen. How did that, hail to the queen. Well, there you go. So you're self-proclaimed. You gave yourself that title, but obviously you gave yourself that title for a reason. Where does it come from?
I've been doing this for a really long time. Mm-hmm. The evolution of it was gradual. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until really a few years ago that I embraced how many years it took me to get here, how much experience it took me to get here, and the fact that I really am at the top of my field. Yeah. And once I made that transition to really accepting that, it felt empowering to say that I was the queen.
And what you do is a little unusual. When people think of musicians, they generally think of, people on maybe doing a concert tour on big stages, right? Or off the radio or Spotify or whatever. And I'm sure we can actually find you on all of those, those things. But you travel a lot, right?
I do.
So I know I used to travel a lot, and I swore I would never do that again. Do you like to travel? Do you like doing this, getting, on a plane or a bus or a train or whatever to go to your next gig? Is that the part you love, or is that the part you put up with so that you can go do what you love?
I would say it's probably more that I put up with it. It's a part of the whole package. I have to travel to get to the places where I'm going to be sharing my music. My suitcase is still unpacked from my last trip, which I just got home. It was just a couple of days ago, and I just came home to, a million things to do, and I just haven't unpacked, and I'm probably going to unpack and repack because I'm leaving again on Saturday.
I was going to say, you're on tour. You're on tour right now.
This is one of my busiest seasons. Yeah.
So, okay. So let's just bring everyone up to speed. When you do a concert, you might do a concert in a synagogue, right? You might, where else might you do a concert?
A religious school, a JCC, a public school, a museum, you name it. Anywhere where there are programs for young children, that is the kind of place you'll find me.
And their parents.
Not always, but oftentimes their parents will be a part of it as well.
And I would guess that you would consider your music to be what we call evergreen, right? Because you sing for the children of today, and the children of today will take the music that they learned and listened to when they were children, right? To play it for their children, which is a great industry to be in. If you can be in an industry like this, to have your music stay on forever and ever and ever. Yeah. So why did you do this? I mean, music has been in your life all this time. You said you singing as a baby. But what made you decide, I'm going to go and I'm going to start singing in front of crowds? I'm going to start recording. I'm going to start creating music. What was that impetus that little voice went on in your head? Or maybe it was a big voice saying, Ellen, you got to go do this. What was the impetus to really get going on this?
So I taught music in the public schools for 4 years. I was the traditional kindergarten through 6th grade music teacher. And I think that that's where I really honed my chops, being in front of an audience, because when you have to teach 8 classes back to back with a break for lunch, and each class is different, you learn how to manage an audience. You learn how to manage a group of kids, right? So I did that. And when I finished doing that, it just coincided with, at the time, I moved to Philadelphia and I got my graduate degree in early childhood. Oh. Never thinking that I would ever do music again, because I had 4 years of a lot of music, and I was ready for something new. Yeah. However, the minute that any school found out that I was a musician, they embraced it and said, well, then you have to be our music teacher. And so that was sort of the next step. I couldn't avoid it. No way. And I was teaching music in a JCC in West Hartford, Connecticut. And one of the parents, who was a woodwind player, said to me, you're really good in front of people. You should take this on the road. And I said, what are you talking about? I'm a teacher. This is what I do. I teach music. And he said, no. You're really good in front of crowds. You should take this on the road. So P.S., I paid him, and he consulted with me and helped me come up with a business plan. Oh. And I decided, once we finished that training, that I was going to sit down and I was going to call every single public library in the state of Connecticut, until I had 6 of them that agreed to pay my price. Now, this was back in the late 80s.
Okay. Yeah, it's a different time. Totally.
I did it. I got 6 libraries to pay me. And once that happened, all bets were off. I continued to grow that. And so it really started with this woodwind player who said, you really need to take this on the road.
So when I was introducing you, I said out loud that you have been published by fellow singer-songwriters on 31 recordings. That's a lot. First of all, congratulations. That is a lot. I mean, having been in the industry, I know that's a lot. Do you have any favorite songs Do you have any favorite artists that you want to say out loud so that, make everybody jealous that you like that has done your songs, or do you just love the versions that everybody does?
I love the versions that everybody does. They all are unique. They're all gifted, and I'm so grateful. And to be honest with you, I have a feeling it's more than 31 because I wrote that a few years ago, and every year people record my songs, one or more of my songs. So it's really a privilege to have people playing and recording and singing and sharing your music.
Totally. I totally agree. So let's talk about your why. We talked about you've been doing this a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And when, one of the things that I like to do with my guests is I'll send you, a questionnaire, as and I'll just kind of get some information. And one of the things that you said about your why is that you're passionate. I love that word passionate, because without passion, I think we might as well just, shut it down and go home. So tell me about your why. Why do you do this, and why are you going to continue to do this?
I love people. I love people. I want to say almost even more than the music. People are really my reason for living. I love connecting with people. When my daughters, who are now 35 and 38, when they were young, we would go out into the public and my kids would say to me, "Mom, do you have to talk to everybody?" And I would say, as a matter of fact, yes, I do. I think that it really makes the world a better place when I can reach out and be kind to everyone. So people are really my reason for doing this. Being kind to people, reaching out, embracing people, telling them that they are enough just the way they are, no matter what clothes they wear, no matter what their station in life is, no matter what car they drive. I love people. And I learned that very much from my parents.
So they would be very proud of you right now.
I think so. I think they're up there saying, "You go, Ellen.
You go, Ellen. You just keep singing." I'm just putting this down. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, and the singing is sort of an extension of that. I love music. I love singing. I love building community with people. So the people and the music is kind of a great combination.
So let's talk a little bit about the type of songs that you do. They're for children. So are they all in Hebrew? Are they in English? Are they sing-alongs? Are they what is the content? What is the actual themes that you approach in music that educate us all?
Well, they run the gamut when it comes to topics.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, if I find that there's a void in the world of children's music, whether it's Jewish or secular, that's all I need. And I will sit down and I'll write a song so that I can fill that void. Right. One of my passions is writing songs about God. Okay. As a musician for Jewish children and Jewish families, I am really, I guess you could say, perplexed in a way, because God is I mean, the sole creed, the creed of Judaism is the belief in one God, right? We say or sing the Shema. And yet people often don't talk about God. And I think for a big reason, and that's that they really don't get it. They don't get God. What is God? Is God what I grew up with was God was the man with the beard and the robe on the throne, way up high, somewhere up there, right? And I knew that just didn't resonate with me, and it certainly wasn't going to resonate with my audiences. So I began to write songs about God, and I have enough now that I could actually do a whole recording. They're sprinkled through my recordings, and some of them are not even recorded yet. But I just have this passion about really helping people feel comfortable with the topic of and talking about God.
Well, now I didn't ask you this before the show, and I'm not going to put you on the spot, but you want to hum a few bars? You want to sing us a little song?
Sure. I have to run through in my head all the different songs about God that I know.
Or favorite. Okay.
I'll tell you, one of them is called God, God, God. And I'll just sing you the chorus. And what I teach people when they do it is they take their pointers and they point to their ears. And we hear God, see God, smell God, taste God, touch God, know God, K-N-O-W. Feel God, one God, everywhere God, everyone God, 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 God.
Very catchy. Now, is this recorded? So what we're going to do, we'll put some links into the comments after the show. So for those who, you're raising kids, you're raising Jewish kids, and you need something that is fun. First of all, we didn't have those kind of songs when we were growing up. Thank you very much, Ellen. Not even kind
Not
of.
even close.
So for that reason alone, guys, this is a great thing to hook into. That is a really cute song. I have never heard that before. We may have to put a link to that song.
It's on Spotify.
Oh, cool. That's great. Well, we will definitely do that. All right. I always like to ask my guests, what is your superpower?
My superpower, I think, is that I have no filters when it comes to embracing people. I love people. Like I said earlier, I think that is my superpower, is my, the Hebrew chesed, my kindness and my embracing of people.
And you obviously do it very, very well. One of the things that I always like to ask my guests, and I asked you as well, was one tip that you wanted to share. And I love your answer. Why don't you share it with us?
Was my answer when I talked about embracing your voice?
And your mistakes.
Embracing your mistakes, right. So, and that kind of connects with embracing your voice, because if I had a nickel for every time somebody said to me, oh, I can't sing. And I answer that with, embrace your mistakes. They are your friends. That when you embrace your mistakes, that's how you grow.
So I totally agree with that. I just put a scroll at the bottom, embrace your mistakes. I think that's actually my super boomer moment of the interview. I think that we all get caught up that we can't make mistakes and we have to be perfect and we have to do everything the way we have to do it. Instead of, as you say, embrace the mistakes, embrace life, because ultimately when you do that, you're showing up authentically, and that mistake is going to make it even better the next step forward.
Right. And you also, I think that people feel more comfortable when you can be vulnerable.
Yes, I agree. I think when people think that you're just like them, they're going to be more engaged with you.
Right.
For those of you who are wondering how you can check out Ellen is all over social media, guys. I mean, all over social media. So this is going to live in the show, but you can take notes as well. If you want to check out Ellen on Twitter, she is at Ellen Loves Music. Yes, she does. And if you want to check her out on Instagram, it's at Ellen Allard Music. So you're going to notice there's a couple of different names. This is different than the Twitter. If you want to check her out on her website, where you can see her music and all sorts of other things, I believe, right? They can get your songs there. Yes. EllenAllard.com. And of course, on Facebook, you want to check her out and join her page and follow her there, Ellen Allard Music. And I know that you have an extensive YouTube channel. Go search for her on YouTube, Ellen Allard. You're on Pinterest, Ellen Allard. You're on LinkedIn, Ellen Allard. Just remember that, guys. Ellen Allard on basically all of the platforms. Put it into search and you're going to find her there.
The other thing I can tell you is that I started a group about 2 years ago on a whim, and it has mushroomed. I have almost 600 people in it. It's a Facebook group, and it's got a long name. It's called Ellen's Music Teachers Rock.
Ellen's Music
Teachers Rock. That's the whole name. So if you search for that on Facebook, you'll find it. And you have to answer a couple questions. And then I open the door and let you in. And it's an amazing community of people who love music the way I love music and want to really be a community and support other people.
I love that. So I just put the name up here. So search for it on Facebook as well. Oh my gosh, we're getting to, we've been talking for 20 minutes. Somebody should tell us we've been talking a lot. Totally kidding. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience that we have not touched upon, that you just know they need to have right this minute? I mean, obviously they're going to go check you out and other things, but I don't want to go anywhere without making sure that we have touched upon those things that are important to you.
There are so many things I could talk about. I think I'll share a story with you, something that just happened a couple of days ago. I got an email from a cantor in Philadelphia. And in her email, she said that quite a few years ago, she attended a conference where I sang one of my songs called Standing at the Sea. And it's about the Micha Mocha story and the Reed Sea parting. And in her email, she said that her son, her adult son, or her son was a teenager, that was it. And he referenced that song, had not mentioned it since he was a little kid, like 15, 18 years ago. And he referenced it. And she said the fact that he remembered it and that he referenced it told her that the Jewish upbringing she gave him made an impact. And she thanked me and she asked me if she could donate. She wanted to gift me with something because of how important that memory was for her and what it did for she and her son. I
Wow.
was blown away by that.
That's wonderful. I mean, as an educator, I know that's the highest compliment you can possibly
It
get.
is. It is. And
Well,
I tell people, sing with your kids, sing with your grandkids, and embrace your voice and embrace your mistakes, and know that those are the memories that you are
right.
creating now that your kids and your grandkids are going to remember. They're not going to remember, the more insignificant things. They're going to remember the memories that you make with them, including singing with them.
Absolutely. And I know that you mentioned at the very beginning of the show that some people say, I don't know how to sing, and I'm here to say, and I'm sure you agree with, everybody can sing, guys, some better than others. Okay, some better than others, but everybody can sing, and shame on any music teacher in an elementary school, because I know there were plenty, as when we were growing up,
Oh, yeah.
that would say, don't sing.
Right.
Because your voice is, and what a shame, because those same individuals who have moved into, my husband being one of them, who now won't sing out loud because he was told.
It's a shame. That's a
So
shame.
parents, don't do that to your kids.
Right.
Everyone can sing. Yes, we all know that some of us are better than others, but everyone can sing. Don't take away the joy of music, right, Ellen?
Absolutely not. And I think I would say one other thing, and that's that I'm 65. I just got my Medicare card. And I'm raring to go. I'm unstoppable. So for those of you who are wondering, am I all washed up when I get to my mid-60s? No way. I am really, I feel like I'm at the height of my career and I am exploding. And I'm so grateful to everybody who's bringing me into their communities. And I want to tell women, especially who are out there wondering what they can do in their mid-60s, go get them, is what I say.
You're a super boomer. I mean, let's call it for what it is. You are a super boomer. This is what this whole show is about. Don't let anybody tell you what you can do at whatever age you are. So congratulations on walking your talk and being a prime example for so many women and men out there. Ellen Allard, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you, Caren.
I'm going to drop you into the green room. I'm going to do my super boomer moment of the show, and then we'll talk afterwards. Thank you so much, Ellen. Bye-bye. Oh my gosh, she's a blast. I truly am enthralled by the music, and boy, that song was awesome. I'm going to make sure I get the song. We're going to put it into the comments and we'll put it in the blog post. But the one thing that I want to chat about right now in the super boomer moment, and that is about embracing your mistakes. I think so many times we as super boomers, we as children, we as middle-aged people, we as millennials, whatever age we're at, sometimes we think we have to be perfect. And sometimes we think that what we're doing, we might as well not do unless we can do it, whatever that perception of perfect. I say, fail your way to success, embrace your mistakes. Ellen, you are right on the money on that. I agree with you wholeheartedly, because when you do that, all sorts of things open up that you never thought were there. All right. I would love for you to follow us. You can follow us on Instagram at Caren Glasser. You can follow us on Twitter at Caren Glasser. And of course, you can follow us on Facebook at the Super Boomer Lifestyle Show. We know that you have a choice as to how you spend your time, and we are eternally grateful that you chose to spend your time with us today. And so right now, I'd like to make sure that you go out and give somebody an awesome day, and we'll see you next week on the next episode of the Super Boomer Lifestyle Show. Goodbye, everyone.